Pioneer spirit, American exceptionalism. It is time to put these beliefs back into action and create renewable energy technology and usher in the age of American energy independence. For too long, we have been shackled to fossil fuels from foreign nations, many of whom sponsor state terrorism with the funds they receive from us, like Saudi Arabia and Iran. It is time for a new generation to pick up the mantle and lead the charge in this noble crusade in creating the future world of tomorrow. And through the Rotary Four-Way, we may hopefully understand why we must overcome the greatest challenge, not only to our nation, but to the human civilization. In 1998, the price of oil was only $12 per barrel. In 2010, the price had risen all the way up to 71, and this year alone, the price has skyrocketed to well over $100 per barrel. It is no secret that we are fettered to the prices and wills of OPEC, who see a devaluing American currency as a result of our $14 trillion debt, and who in turn jack up the price of oil, hurting our society and our economy. It is imperative as the leading superpower in the world that we create the renewable energy alternative and end our dependency upon fossil fuels, because dependency is culture killing, death to initiative, death to future jobs and areas of advancement. Is it the truth? Absolutely. You need not look past the rising price of gasoline, the rising price of oil per barrel, and the multiple government commissions that have advocated us to move away from fossil fuels to understand that our reliance upon fossil fuels is only hurting our country. Our business policy isn't determined in Washington, D.C. It is rather determined in the Middle East, where most of our oil comes from. But here in the United States, we have untapped oil in the Gulf, the West Coast, and Alaska. But we have much more than that. We have the tools necessary to build the new American century. Rome ruled the world because they built highways. Britain controlled the seas because they built ships. And the United States became the leading superpower because we were the first to harness nuclear energy. What's the connection here? Salary to gasoline. Ask the man who commutes to work on a bicycle because he no longer has the funds necessary to put gasoline in his car. Ask the unemployed chemists and engineer graduates who no longer have a job or are unemployed because there is no strong renewable energy employment sector in America. But it wouldn't only be fair to these people. It would be fair to everyone in the world because the world economy still turns with the American economy. And seeing that the United States has reached peak oil and the world is about to reach peak oil in the next decade or two, this is when we maximize the production and distribution of oil. What will happen when that day of reckoning comes and we don't have the alternative to fossil fuels? The third point in the Rotary Four-Way, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Renewable energy would undoubtedly build goodwill and better friendships around the world. Through trade, partnership, and commerce, we can cultivate peace and harmony with all nations, echoing what George Washington said over 230 years ago. We can begin to export our advancements to the four corners of the earth, locking East and West together under the common goal of humanist betterment and empowerment, rather than leaving the world fractured in geopolitical rivalry and jealousy, which plague us to this very day. And lastly, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Renewable energy will be beneficial to every man, woman, and child on this earth because it would create a cleaner, healthier environment upon which we can all live and prosper in. It would benefit millions of Americans who would now become employed. It would benefit the nations that suffer from the ills of climate change and have their potential livelihood destroyed. It would benefit the nations that lack the oil reserves found so sparingly around the world. And it would benefit nations that lack the technology to potentially harness potential renewable energy resources. But above all, the United States will benefit because we will be leading the charge in creating the future world of tomorrow. Through the Rotary Four-Way, we may hopefully understand why we must overcome this daunting challenge. A challenge that, if met head-on, I believe would unequivocally usher in a new age of peace, progress, and prosperity for the entire world. And let this be our motto. Let us never give up and never give in, because inequality anywhere is inequality everywhere, and progress anywhere is progress everywhere. And I believe it is the time to answer humanity's call for progress to benefit all mankind. Thank you.